ground up to achieve success, grounded to sustain it. Okay, let's unpack that.
It's a powerful little phrase, isn't it?
It really is. So today we're diving straight into, well, what happens after success? Beyond just getting there.
Yeah, the sustaining part, the staying grounded bit.
Exactly. It's about the essence of it all, how you hold on to it, and why staying grounded is so, so critical.
And we've got some really interesting material that looks at the maybe unexpected challenges success throws up.
Right, and how your core values become even more important once you actually, achieve things.
Fascinating, isn't it? How society puts almost all the focus on the achieving part.
Totally. Books, courses, talks, it's all about the climb.
But there's like this silence around actually handling it once you're there.
Yeah, like success is the finish line, the end.
When really it might just be the start of something. Trickier, perhaps. A whole new phase.
That's exactly what our sources suggest. It's not just about building the thing, it's about the upkeep, keeping those foundations solid.
And they talk about this potential for a, what do they call it? A toxic transformation.
Yeah, that phrase really jumped out, this shift sometimes, from things like humility, hard work, patience.
The stuff that got you there in the first place.
Right. And it morphing into, well, ego, maybe entitlement, greed even.
Which brings up that whole motivation question, like, what's driving you?
Initially, it's often pretty pure, right? Wanting to get better, build something, solve a problem.
But then success hits, and the focus can subtly shift. It becomes less internal, maybe?
And more about external validation, needing to be seen as successful.
Exactly. The perception.
And here's a key point from the sources. Success doesn't automatically make you a better person. It's almost like a spotlight.
Magnifying glass. Yeah. Showing what was already there, perhaps, good and bad.
It's a real test of character, maybe even tougher than dealing with failure sometimes.
That's a great point. Failure often forces reflection, adaptation.
But success, it can breed this feeling of, like, I've got it all figured out, invincibility.
And that's where some of those negative habits can creep in.
Okay, let's get into those. Ego inflation seems huge, all the praise, the wins.
It can distort your self-perception, can it?
Yeah.
You start thinking you're indispensable.
The smartest person in the room syndrome. And what happens then?
You stop listening. You stop learning. You forget, as the sources remind us, that success is rarely a solo flight.
So true. Okay, what else? The comparison trap.
Ah, yes. Instead of focusing on your own growth, it becomes about outdoing others.
Peers become threats.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that just erodes your own peace of mind, constantly looking over your shoulder.
And that ties into the superiority complex idea too, right? Looking down on people still on the way up.
Yeah, maybe losing patience, empathy, forgetting what it felt like, and you lose valuable perspectives that way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It sounds like you can also kind of detach from reality.
Building walls, yeah. Creating an echo chamber where you only hear agreement.
Which is incredibly risky for making good decisions, surely.
Absolutely. You lose that vital, honest feedback, and then there's the loss of purpose.
The why, it just fades.
It can. The focus shifts from, say, impact to optics, maintaining the image, and passion often follows purpose out the door.
Wow. And it's striking, like you said earlier, how little we're actually taught about handling this stuff.
Society cheers the climb, but it's pretty quiet about navigating the summit.
Success isn't the end point. It's a new phase with its own challenges.
And there's this pressure, too, isn't there, to always look successful, always feel good about it.
Which makes it hard to admit you're struggling, even with success. To be vulnerable.
Exactly. Suppressing that just makes it worse.
So this all leads back to that central theme. Staying grounded.
It really feels like the bedrock, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when your influence grows.
So what does grounded actually mean in this context?
It's about staying connected to who you were, your values, before the success. Making sure the achievements don't completely eclipse your core identity.
Okay, that makes sense. And are there like practical ways to do that? To actually stay grounded?
Yes, definitely. The sources suggest a few key things. One is surrounding yourself with truth tellers.
Ah, people who give it to you straight, not just yes men.
Exactly. Honest feedback, even the tough stuff. That's gold.
Okay, what else?
Regular reflection, just checking in with yourself. Are my actions aligning with my values?
Taking that pause.
And actively reconnecting with a purpose that's bigger than just you. A service mindset, maybe.
Right, looking beyond personal gain.
And crucially, embracing what they call a beginner's mind. Meaning staying curious, open to learning, not assuming you know it all just because you've succeeded before. approaching things with fresh eyes.
That sounds vital. So the sources really stress that leadership isn't just about reaching the top.
No, it's about how you rise, how you carry yourself once you're there.
Maintaining confidence, yes, but also listening, remembering the journey.
And they mentioned that Blue Smart story as a kind of cautionary tale.
Right, the company that had early success, but then things went wrong.
And a key part seems to be the founders losing touch with those early principles, that initial drive, hubris creeping in.
It really shows how fragile success can be if you lose that grounding, that connection to your core values.
It really does.
Ugh.
It shifts from purpose to ego, and things can unravel surprisingly fast.
So if we boil it all down, the big takeaway is achieving success is one thing.
But sustaining it, that takes conscious, ongoing effort to stay grounded, to fight that pull towards ego and detachment.
And ultimately, how you handle success says more about you than the success itself.
Perfectly put, which brings us right back to that opening quote.
Ground up to achieve success.
Grounded to sustain it. It really nails it, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So maybe the thought to leave you, the listener, with is this. As you pursue your own version of success, what's going into your personal ethics manual?
Yeah. What are those non-negotiable values that will keep you grounded no matter what?
What principles will guide not just your climb, but how you live and lead once you get there? Something to think about.